Okay, so I'm back. I just had a little mishap, but I'm back. Good evening, good afternoon, or good morning, depending on when you're watching this replay. I'm gonna give a moment for the notifications to go out before I get started. This is gonna be a fun topic, and I'm gonna do my best to make it quick and get to the point. But let me go in here and do make a little change real fast. Okay. Yay. Got it. Whew. How are y'all doing today? Let me know in the comments how you're doing. So today is Friday, July 12th, 2019. And all week I've been talking about abundance and being available for it. And in particular, how that relates to having a wealth consciousness versus having a lack consciousness. And so today, what the topic is all about is money karma. So money karma is something that I had always had somewhat of an idea about, but Dr. Mitchell Gibson expanded on this topic in his book. I think it's called 9 Insights to Happy Living or Spiritual Living. But Dr. Mitchell Gibson, you may have heard of him, expanded on the topic of money karma. So, just to start, money karma can be good, okay, good, or bad, positive or negative. It's just a matter of the consequences, okay? A consequence is just a reaction from an action that you decide whether or not that is positive or negative or good or bad for you. And so I want to pose the question and give you a few things to reflect on today about whether or not you have positive outcomes when it comes to money because of the karma, or if you have, less favorable or negative consequences in regards to your own personal money karma. So what I really want is I want you to, number one, receive the message that I'm delivering. I want you to decide whether or not you want to be available for abundance in your life. Decide whether or not you want to take on a lack or wealth consciousness. Make a decision about which one. So those are the intentions for today, and also that I impart some insights, some tips, some points for greater understanding for you in regards to wealth consciousness and abundant understanding and living. So what is money karma? There is a certain amount of karma that is attached to money just because of its nature already. How do we create good karma or favorable outcomes, favorable, positive consequences from how we utilize money in our lives? And one of the ways to do that is by giving. So you will notice in a lot of the religious traditions, there is an activity of giving 10%. When you give 10%, it may not be 10%, it may just be a percentage. When you give money, you're sowing a seed. You're actually creating the karma of receiving when and through the act of giving. That is what you're doing when you sow the seed of giving money to someone, okay? That creates positive karma. That is one way to create a positive mindset and positive karma around money. So what I want to go into now is some of the ways that negative karma could show up. And I spoke on these 2 days ago when I talked about freedom or the free syndrome. But I made a list. Stealing, bootlegging, not giving, not sharing, bartering, shortchanging, trying to get over, limiting, holding back, and even limiting your emotional energy. Those are ways in which you feed into a lack consciousness, because all of those things are actions based on a belief of not having enough or not being able to ever have enough. Okay? So if one has a mindset of not having enough or not believing that they could have enough, then what they would do is they would think they would have to go take it from someone else. They would think that they have to keep and hoard what they do have, and they couldn't share a little bit. They couldn't give a little bit because they believe in lack. They don't believe that there's enough, and they don't believe that they could have enough. So those are some of the ways that a lack consciousness will show up. Hi, Christy. It's so good to see you. So those are some of the ways that a lack consciousness will show up. And so what you want to do here is make a list if you have to, okay, or reflect on how you think in terms of money. How do you think in terms of money? What do you decide to do? Are you one that is more open-spirited, more free-hearted with your giving and your sharing, okay? Or, and let's take it a step deeper, in what ways are you free-spirited, open-hearted with your giving and your sharing? And in which ways are you not that? Okay, because these can be very subtle. We can be very giving and open in some circumstances and situations, but in others be very much where we don't believe that there's enough. And so we hold back, we shield, we limit. So, and it may be, for example, food is coming to mind. Food may be an area that you feel a great abundance in. You have no problems really doing it up when it comes to grocery shopping, when it comes to going out. You don't limit yourself, and you don't allow yourself to think in limits when it comes to food. However, let's say that when it comes to more leisure activities, traveling, going out, different experiences like concerts, tickets, bigger ticket items, do you tend to have a more limiting mindset or consciousness and not think that you have enough for that sort of thing? So start reflecting on the areas where these variations show up, where you notice that you have an abundance and a wealth attitude and mindset about it, and where you have more of a lacking, limiting, scarce, you don't feel like there's enough. Because what you want to do is begin to align your actions with one of the stories, and you get to decide. We're talking about abundance and wealth mindset, so I'm assuming that you want that mindset. You want to experience that, so you want to have that mindset. That means that you have to move all of your actions, okay? You have to move all of your actions to fit that belief and story, okay? Because we can't say that, oh, I want abundance, I want plenty, I want more, I want to be wealthy, but then all of my actions are over here and I'm stealing and I'm, trying to get over, and I'm, believing that it's not enough, and all of my actions are in line with that behavior. Okay, so What we're doing here is shifting the actions, okay, to be in line with the new belief that you're taking on. The new belief, the new thought, is replacing the old thought and the old belief, okay? Now, there is more than one way to go about this, okay? But the thing is, you want to get your actions in line with your thoughts, and your thoughts in line with your belief. But the thing about it is, usually the beliefs are not something that's really at the forefront of our minds. Our beliefs and the things that are inside and embedded into our belief system make us who we are. And they are much deeper, and they exist in our subconscious level of thinking and in our subconscious mind. What has to take place is a complete shifting of that belief system that's running in the background that may be something that you inherited. It is something that you inherited. You were born into a certain way of thinking and being, and then you picked up things throughout your childhood and throughout your life. Okay, and that created your belief system, that created your way of thinking, seeing, and being in the world. Okay, so that's a deeper process to begin to shift what's happening in the background, your belief system. Okay, and what that's called is a paradigm shift. A paradigm shift is what is required, and that is really what we're talking about, is shifting the paradigm from a lack, scarce type of way of being and living in the world to more of a wealth and abundant, plentiful way of seeing everything, no matter what it looks like to your physical eyes. That is where the juice comes in, is when you can uphold a knowing because you know it. And no matter what you see is or is not happening yet, you uphold that belief. But it takes practice, it takes play, and it takes time for that to shift, because it's a complete subconscious thing that you're shifting and changing. So this is like generations of being. It's also things and ways of being and believing in the world that you've done for years. Okay, it's made you who you are, and you're shifting that. So a paradigm is basically a pattern of thinking, a pattern of being in the world and seeing things. That's what a paradigm is that pattern, and you want to shift that from lack and scarcity into abundance and wealth. Okay? And I've been sharing tips to bring your awareness to that, but I want to invite you into the abundance class and play, learn and play, that starts officially next Wednesday. Okay? And so what we're going to be doing is diving into the thoughts and the beliefs that make up the paradigm, whatever your paradigm is, and shifting it. So in the classroom and on the playground, it is workshop style for a whole month. Okay? For a whole month, the process is shifting into, anchoring into becoming, and we're going to be doing it together. Of and in a wealth, abundant, plentiful type of thinking, type of being, and the ways in which we see things. Okay? It's a mastermind. When more than one come together, when more than one person, when two people come together or more and make an agreement about something, this is how you amplify a thought. This is how you amplify a belief, is you get somebody else to think it with you. You get somebody else to believe it with you. You get somebody else to do it with you. Okay? I have a new thing called the Money Stories. I have one episode out now, but I have so many more already recorded. I just haven't released them. So I hope to release at least another money story over the weekend. But in the meantime, you can get my complimentary mindset training, okay, if you don't already have it. You may already have it. If you don't, you need to sign up and get it because that will get you started with the free mindset training. Now, the pre-play starts today. Pre-play and pray starts today from now until Wednesday when we enter the class, okay? When learning starts, and then we have recess and we go to the playground and we do it all together, okay? So what's going to happen is I'm going to be going into the classroom and putting in the pre-play and pray activities today. So if you're not in there, come on in and get a head start so that you have already taken steps. You've already begun to crack that. I'm seeing, this is what I'm seeing. I'm seeing almost like desert. It's like a desert, but it's like really hard ground, okay, where you almost need a shovel. It's dry. You almost need a shovel to break open the ground. You have to break the ground on this old paradigm or this old way of thinking that believes that there is not enough, that believes in lack, and that believes in scarcity. And because of that, you know, all of these other things are happening, like stealing and lying and cheating and, you know, limiting and holding back and giving here and not giving there, because there is an innate belief that there's not enough. It's time to shift that, because that is simply, well, you know what, I'm not even going to say it's not true, because you know what, it is true for you or for whoever, the people that believe that, it is true for them. That is their personal truth, because that is their experience and that's what they believed. But the thing about it is, you get to choose what you believe. You get to choose what you believe, and you get to choose how you experience life. And I am a testament to that. I tell you, here, sitting here today in my 36 years of living, I am a true testament to that. You can make a decision right now and decide what it's going to be. And it doesn't matter what you don't see right now. Because if you just give it time, and if you just hold on to what you have spoken, to what you have decided is going to happen, and you hold space for it, even though you don't see it yet, you hold the space for it until you see it, it will show up. And this is what I talk about in my money stories. They are basically testimonies for those that know what a testimony is. And I feel a little bit of a way, because when I actually recorded these in the moment when it was happening. So I'm emotional on some of them. I'm like crying because I'm full of gratitude and just thankfulness in the moment. But I have things on there that I have things that have happened more recently that I haven't had a chance to record a money story on. And then I have things that happened to me before I started recording the money stories. And I'm going to share 2 of those stories in the Abundance Classroom and Playground. You guys are going to get the 2 stories about the big, huge blessing and gift that I received. And this is amazing. And how I was able to receive that and live in that abundance of that particular thing for 3 years. And then the most recent thing where I received something that I had been asking for, and it was the exact same thing. You know, something you've been thinking and wanting and praying for a long time, and you're just not sure if you're going to have it, if you're worth it, if you can have it. I'm proof that you can have it. You just have to hold the space for it. You have to keep your heart open. You have to keep your heart open. You have to be joyful in the midst of darkness, in the midst of uncertainty, in the midst of doubt. You hold on to what you know and what you trust, what you decided, okay? And I'm doing this because I'm talking about what's going on in the subconscious, in the background, and that what makes up your belief system, what makes up who you are. You get to decide what's in there, and from that place, create the thing, see the thing. And in these particular instances, we're talking about abundance, things that make you feel like you have more, things that make you feel like you have enough, things that make you feel like you have plenty. Okay, so it may be money specifically, or it may be the thing that you wanted the money to buy. That may show up in the form of gifts. Okay, it may show up in other forms and in other ways, but the point is, it can show up, and it will show up if you are willing to remove that screen. Okay, and I talked about that. I think that was the first day. Is remove that screen and make yourself available. Okay, so before you remove that screen, it's like you're in a cage almost. Okay, or it's like there's a screen between you and your receiving hands, or your pockets, your purse, your wallet, your bank account, your email address, whatever way the thing is going to show up in tangible form. If it's an email you're waiting for from someone or some company because you want a new job. If you're waiting for an email, you're waiting for a phone call, you're waiting for a text message, you're waiting for, some dings in your Venmo, your Cash App, your PayPal, whatever. If you're waiting for deposits, if you're waiting for whatever it is, right now there's a screen, there's a barrier between you and that thing coming through. Because if you're living in the lack consciousness or the scarcity consciousness, and you have this thought or this paradigm and belief system that says it won't happen for you, it can't happen for you, or it's never happened and it's not going to, then you have a screen, you have a block. There's something in the way. So you have to remove that screen or those screens, those blocks, those things. You have to remove them so that the energy can flow, so that it can get into your hands, into your bank accounts, into your email inbox. Okay? And you know what's amazing is you will find out when this stuff starts to, like when you make that shift and you get in that vibe and stuff starts showing up, you'll mess around and find an email that was there 3 weeks ago or 3 months ago that you missed. Because that's the magical thing about, I'm calling it magical, but that's the wonderful thing about abundance is it's always there. It's always been there. It's just the screen and the blogs and the different things that we put in that are in the way of it. Okay? And so these practices help you become aware first of the screen that is there so that you can see it and you can see all the ways that it's showing up in your life, and then you can begin to undo it and remove them. Okay? So I'm going to leave you with, so I gave you one tip. Go ahead and make the list, the reflection list. Okay, reflect on the areas. Okay, rewind and go back and watch that. I'm not going to repeat it. Another thing, I'm going to go ahead and give you a tip. Okay, so I want you to implement some giving practice. This is not to make it seem selfish, but you're doing it for you so that you can see something. See it as an experiment. Allow yourself to just play with it. Allow yourself to wonder about it. Let's say that you only have $5, okay? Then I want you to take one of those dollars. You might just have $5 up. You might just be on your last $20, until next week, or like until something shows up. It doesn't matter if it's $5, if it's $10, if it's $20, if you're down to your last $200, whatever. If you're down to your last, $2,000 or $1,000, whatever. Take a portion of that and give it to someone. Okay, give it to someone. It could be someone that you know, it could be someone that you don't know. And let's say you don't have any cash. Then do this. I love doing this. You know those free coupons that they put in your mailbox? That after the fact you say, man, I wish I had I had saw this coupon when I bought that the other day. Cut out some coupons to like some of your favorite items and get some tape. Go to a grocery store and tape those coupons on those items in the grocery store. And you are gifting someone with that $1 or that 50 cents or that, $2 off. And just experience how good you feel. You really get a good feeling doing that. Because have you ever been in the grocery store and it's happened to me, and this is where I got the idea from. I've been in the grocery store and went to go buy something, and somebody had taped a coupon on it. It's such a delightful, it's like a spark of joy. It's such a delightful thing to experience. And when you go and you take that time, it won't take you long. When you take that time to do that, you're going to spark somebody else's joy. Okay? But you're going to spark your own joy. That's going to help you tap into the frequency of joy. Okay? Because it's a wave. Think of it as a wave. Right? Think of it as a wave and an energy that you're gonna like tap into, okay, and ride. Think of it like that. So that's a little tip and a little experiment, and that's a snippet of the playground activities that we'll be doing in the Abundance Classroom and the games that we'll play on the playground. So, like I said, if you're not in, join. I put the link in this post. You can join for that link. If you need to get the free mindset training, it's easy. At the top of this page, it says email sign up. Sign up for the email and you'll get the free mindset training. And then you'll also have another opportunity to join the Abundance Classroom and Playground, which is a mindset shift mastermind. And we're starting tonight. As soon as I get off of here, I'm actually going over there now, and I'm going to be giving a very fun game to play over the weekend, okay, for the playground, the Abundance Playground. And I have a surprise that I have several surprises, but I've already announced one of the big surprises, but you have to go in the room to see what it is. But this is really good because I'm not playing about this. I'm not playing about this, and hey, I don't want you to play about it anymore either. Okay? So I have some things that I'm going to be coming with, because abundance and plenty is where it's at. Okay? All right, so that is my my tip for the day. I love you very much. I wish you a beautiful Friday and a beautiful weekend. I will be back. I have some more tips and things that I'll share. I haven't decided what my tip is going to be for tomorrow, but like I said, I'm just going to be doing this for a few more days, because all of my energy is going to be shifting to the classroom and the playground starting officially next Wednesday. All right? So until next time, peace, love, harmony, grace, and prosperity. Bye-bye.